And everything suggests that they really predicted this because they did it many years before the construction of the particle accelerator and many years before the discovery of the God particle, whose scientific name is the Higgs boson. Since 1989, The Simpsons have been on the air, and since then, many things have already happened. Altogether, there are 618 episodes aired, and I say aired because obviously there were some banned episodes. Today's video will reveal the biggest secrets of the most successful television series. With you, the secrets of The Simpsons. Hi everyone, welcome to this channel. Stop everything and watch today's video. I'm Carol Capel, your favorite dream crusher, and in today's video we're going to talk about The Simpsons. The Simpsons in Portuguese are kind of funny. To really find The Simpsons funny, you need to watch them in English. Oh, Carol, I don't understand English. If you don't understand English, you're wasting your time because my course is designed to help you grasp the language rapidly. If you purchase the course in September, you'll be speaking fluent English by January 2020. Obviously, not just to understand television shows, but for everything. For getting a new job, for traveling, for doing an exchange program, for going to college outside Brazil, anyway, for everything. So go check it out. It's carolmeansina.com and start today with the best-selling online English course in the history of the planet. But back to The Simpsons. Do you think you know everything? All the dark secrets of The Simpsons and its entire cast? Get ready, because after today's video, you'll look at The Simpsons in a different way. The first secret has to do with Krusty and Homer. Have you ever stopped to notice how similar Krusty the Clown and Homer Simpson are? Except for the hair and the skin color, which is a little different from the rest, they are exactly the same. I would even say they're actually the same person. Could it be that this was just a way to save on illustrators when they were drawing the characters? No. Obviously, the fact that they look identical has a hidden meaning behind it. And they look alike for a really bizarre reason. Seriously. In the early seasons of The Simpsons, it was possible to notice that Krusty and Bart had a really close relationship. And that was on purpose, because actually, the animators of The Simpsons have already admitted to everyone that Krusty and Homer were the same person. Homer would disguise himself as a clown so he could spend more time with his son Bart. And then in a certain episode, they were going to make a totally crazy story to reveal to the whole world that Homer was actually Krusty. However, because that would be a lot of work and they would have to come up with a really elaborate story, they kind of ended up abandoning the idea. The second bizarre fact about The Simpsons is about their shape and color. The first time I watched The Simpsons, I thought they were having multiple kidney failure because they're so yellow that it looks like either they have kidney problems or they have hepatitis. But their design was 100% intentional. Their yellow color was chosen to catch the viewer's attention when changing channels. That used to happen back in the day, right? Changing channels. We used to switch channels like that, and then the yellow color would really catch our attention, so we would stop and watch, obviously. That's how The Simpsons became very popular. Which, by the way, is the same technique used by Illumination to make the Minions, you know? The Minions, yeah, they're yellow for exactly the same reason The Simpsons are yellow. The shape of the heads is also pretty strange. It's not the shape of a normal human head. And the reason why they did this is so that we could recognize the character's silhouette anywhere we saw them. It's a marketing strategy. If you've ever watched a Pixar movie, any of them, you've probably already noticed the presence of the code A113 placed in the movies. But if you pay close attention, you'll notice that this code A113 also appears in The Simpsons. But what the heck is this code anyway? And why does it always show up in movies and television shows? Well, as much as we wish this were a super secret code that would reveal, I don't know, something really important for humanity, it's not. It's the number of a room inside the California Institute of Arts, which is the school where most of the artists who work on movies and cartoons studied. But the big question is that this has always been a silly strategy from Pixar and not from Fox. So everything suggests that The Simpsons also used this code kind of to make fun of Pixar and Disney for putting something so silly in their movies. But now The Simpsons literally got screwed, right? Because they can't make this kind of joke anymore because now they're part of Disney. Ha! There's a Simpsons character named MacBang. He uses that code name, but actually his name is Rainer Wolfcastle. He was created as a mix of Arnold Schwarzenegger, Bruce Willis, and Sylvester Stallone. We would see him if he were close. But this specific character was introduced in The Simpsons with a very bizarre purpose. He has a huge appearance, he's like a muscular monster, and he always makes very short appearances in The Simpsons, like 10 to 15 seconds. All the scenes where he appears in The Simpsons, if you remove them and put them together in chronological order of the episodes, it forms a movie, a specific short film about this character. The short lasts about 4 minutes and tells a story as if it were an old movie, a film from the 80s. Now I keep thinking about the person who discovered this, who realized you could remove everything and make a movie just from these little bits of MacBang's appearances. That person certainly had nothing better to do to be able to put all this together. Seriously, it takes a lot of patience. Did you know that The Simpsons weren't supposed to have this format, but actually they were supposed to be a family of rabbits? Yes, a family of pink rabbits. When they were first drawn, they had this rabbit shape. But then, at the last minute, they changed the character's shape to the one we know today. And it's a good thing they did that, right? Because I think pink rabbits would be way too cute for what The Simpsons is about. Besides, I think pink rabbits wouldn't be as successful as deformed people painted yellow. What do you think? Would you prefer pink rabbits? Comment down below. Do you remember those prank calls that Bart and Milhouse used to make to Moe? You remember, right? Because he would call the bar and say all sorts of things. Well, those prank calls aren't funny at all in Portuguese either. It's funnier in English. They've been included in the show since the first season, and without those prank calls that Bart makes to Moe, the show just wouldn't be as funny. Seriously, it wouldn't be the same. But what few people know is that even in those prank calls, there are hidden meanings behind them. The first one is the phone number they used to call, 764-84-377. First, it's a very long number to be a real phone number, so several people tried to call, but without success. And if you look at your phone's keypad, not your cell phone, but a landline, you'll see that each number has 3 letters, and that this phone number actually forms a code. What code? In this code, it spells out the word Smithers, who is another character from The Simpsons. You know, the one who works there with Mr. Burns? He used to work there in the older seasons. I haven't seen Smithers in a while. Did they kill him off? The Simpsons cartoon seems like a combination of bizarre things. And a lot of times it doesn't make sense to us. But no, everything there has a very specific meaning behind it. Like, for example, Homer Simpson, who is a total fool in real life, but always shows up working in extremely dangerous jobs. Like, for example, he's the operator, the person who runs an entire nuclear power plant. But besides all that, he's also someone who is always making the most complex mathematical expressions possible in the cartoon. And we're like, how? The strangest thing about all this is that Homer Simpson came up with the exact formula for the Higgs boson. The Higgs boson is the particle accelerator that's near my house here in Switzerland, and it was built many years after Homer Simpson had come up with the perfect formula for its construction. For the particle accelerator that would generate the Higgs boson. It's kind of a bizarre thing because they predicted a mathematical sequence, they predicted a formula that would completely change our current physics, in short, our current world. And everything suggests that they really did predict this because they did it many years before the construction of the particle accelerator and many years before the discovery of the God particle, whose scientific name is the Higgs boson. Now, what makes animators, people who draw, have so much scientific knowledge of physics and quantum physics at this level to be able to create such precise and accurate formulas in a cartoon? What is the reason for all of this? And it's not just that actually, every time you see a number in The Simpsons, they're not just there as decoration for the scene or the background of the show, they're there with a purpose, to show us something. It's like a code. Usually, it's a code for some famous mathematician, some really difficult equation, something they want to show us through numbers. But this happens because most of the writers of The Simpsons are mathematicians who graduated from Yale and Harvard. Also, have you noticed that in the opening of The Simpsons, when the cashier scans Maggie, you know, the little baby, he scans her at the supermarket cash register and a price appears on the screen. That number wasn't put there on purpose either. That's because when the series started in 1989, it cost $847.43 to raise a baby per month in the United States. So, Maggie's price when the cash register rings her up is exactly the price of a baby per month in the United States back in 1989. As the series went on and the years passed, that price was adjusted. Many of The Simpsons' last names are names of cities in the United States. For example, Portland, Oregon, Lovejoy, Kimby, Flanders, Kinney. They are all street names or city names in the city of Portland. Did you know that Milhouse has a middle name and this story is really bizarre? His full name is Milhouse Mussolini van Houten. Benito Amilcar Andrea Mussolini was an Italian dictator. He basically created what we talk about nowadays and we don't even know what it means. There are a lot of people who love to call others fascists and think that fascist is the same as Nazi. But no, they are completely different movements, completely different ideologies. And Mussolini was then the person behind the creation of fascism. Now, why give the name of a dictator to a Simpsons character? Like, why? I really don't have an explanation for that, and it's honestly a very dark thing. Did you know that you can send an email to Lisa and Homer Simpson? In a certain episode of the series, Homer Simpson's email appeared. In another episode of the series, Lisa Simpson's email appeared, and for a certain period of time you could send an email to these two addresses and they would reply with a funny message. It was like an automatic messaging system, so it was really cool and the fans used to do that. Until one fine day, a hacker here from Turkey near my house also hacked those two emails and started sending spam to the people who contacted Homer and Lisa just wanting to have some fun. Well, you can already imagine what happened next, right? Several computers were hacked anyway, so Fox had to release an official statement saying not to send emails to those addresses anymore because computers were being hacked. So please don't send emails to those addresses if you don't want your phones and computers to get hacked. So that's it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed learning a little about the secrets of The Simpsons. I have many more to share. If you want, comment on my Instagram on my latest photo at Simpsons so I'll know and I'll bring you more videos. And that's it, guys. A kiss for you all, and I'll see you in our next video.